Hey everyone, welcome to the Smoking and Joking channel. I'm your host, retired Army Combat Medic Chad, and I'm glad you guys tuned in today. So, my whole goal with starting this channel is to bring on veterans to share stories with us, funny ones, things that they look back on in their time in the military, that maybe bent over laughing, scratching your head like, what the hell just happened? That type of stuff. I like to reminisce and tell folks who have never been in the military some of the crazy things we've been through and the funny stuff that we've done. Reminiscing with my buddies is so great. You get to sit back and tell all these stories, the things you've been through and the things you've seen and the funny things that have happened. That's kind of my therapy, if you will. The VA and military, they have all these mental health organizations to help us guys. But I really feel like when I get together with my friends and my old buddies, and we just sit around, have a beer and just talk about old times and kind of laugh and just enjoy those moments, it makes me feel real good. Like I said, I think that's my therapy, is sitting around and getting to reminisce and tell these stories. So I'd like to share that with you guys. I'd like to bring people on, let them share their stories. Maybe you get a laugh out of it. We get a laugh out of it. And it makes us feel better. So I thought I would come in for the very first video for the channel and share one of my stories that I thought was pretty funny at the time. I still do. I think it's funny. It was a prank that we pulled on our company commander. We were all really close. We did a 15-month deployment to Iraq, and we were in Al Anbar province, just outside of Ramadi. So that was during the 2006, 2007 time frame. So bad time to be over there. Um, going through that stuff, especially for 15 months, it's a long time. So you just needed moments to kind of get you through the bad times. And for the bad times, there were good times and funny times and things you did that was just dumb and stupid, but you look back and you laugh about it. So uh, we were all really close. I was the medic, of course, on the commander's truck, and we were all, after 12 months of pounding the same sand, you guys get really close. And so it's really close to the commander and the guys that were on our truck. Man, we spent every day, every moment, together, going to the DFAC when you had a chance to eat, going to the internet cafe, you know, getting your laundry done, setting the truck up for the day's mission, at the end of the day, tearing stuff apart, putting it away, locking the truck up. You just spend every waking moment with these guys. And so, they become really important to you, and you develop this close bond. And so we pissed with each other, messed around, got to pass the time, make it have fun. And there was one case where we were probably close to a year in. It was summertime ish. It was hot. Not a whole lot was going on, and we had come in. No one was in this town. All the bad guys had run everybody out. And we kind of took care of that and ran those guys off, and the people returned back to the village or back to their town. And so it was relatively safe, and things were looking better. And so we had kind of like transitioned into a shaking hands and kissing babies type stuff. Let's see how we can, help the folks out in this town. What can we do? And so that's what our commander was doing. We had transitioned in from chasing guys and kicking indoors to now let's play some politics a little bit. And so that's what we were doing at the time, and super boring, not very fun. Commander was in a meeting one day, and It's AC where he's at. He's probably sipping chai, tea, and the rest of the guys were out in the truck embracing the suck. It's hot, miserable. You got all your gear on, sitting back there just, sweating your butt off, just waiting for him to get done conducting his business. And so we could move out. And we had been in that town long enough and we had developed a pretty good rapport with the local folks. I mean, they knew me by my name. The kids, I'd get the kids stuff, candy and treats and all that, and soccer balls, and had a pretty good rapport with the folks there. And so they never really bothered us. Hell, the one kid that I was really close with, if I wanted something from one of the local shops, I could give him some money. He'd take off, he'd tear ass off to the shop and get whatever. I don't even know what he'd be bringing back sometimes. He would just grab some things and come back and never fell. He never stole my money. He never took it or whatever. He always came back and I'd share treats with him, and we'd pass the time when we were doing this type of stuff. But this one day, I don't know, we were just kind of miserable. Like I said, it's summertime, it's hot, it's dragging. You're going from a 12-month to a 15-month deployment now, so it just kind of pisses you off, makes it worse. And we know the commander. He's in this building, AC, hanging out, conducting his business while we're out in the truck sweating our butt off. So we were a little salty that day. So we're hanging out in the truck, and I don't know what it was that day, but the one boy that I knew, he he was really trying my patience that day, just pissing with me. Just didn't want to be screwed with that day, but he wasn't doing anything wrong. He just trying our patience. So you know what? I'm gonna mess with him. I'm gonna prank him. So I took an empty water bottle, and I had been collecting throughout the deployment, from the MREs that we have. I've been collecting cayenne pepper packets. I've been collecting the little miniature bottles of Tabasco. So I had all this stuff just piled up in a spot in the back of the Humvee. I'm like, you know what? Anytime that I'm eating or I have an electronic or I have something, the kids always want it. And if you've been over there and you've spent some time around those folks, the little kids, hey, mister, you give me. That was some of the English they knew. They knew my last name and they knew you get me. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to give him something today. So I took a water bottle and I cut the bottom off. Took some cayenne pepper packets, dumped them in the bottom of the bottle, grabbed a Tabasco bottle, dumped that in the bottle, stirred it around, made a paste, awful thick, didn't mix well, added some water to it, thinned it out. I was like, that looks pretty good. So you know what? I think I'm gonna act like I'm eating this. And as soon as someone sees that I got something I'm eating, they're gonna want it. So I'm over there, I'm acting like I'm eating this concoction I just made up. Sure as hell, here he comes. Over to the truck, calls me by my name, gives me the, hey, you give me. I'm like, yep, you know what? I think I will today. Took a big scoop of that mixture, and he opens his mouth, and I gave him a big spoonful right in. Bam! And he's over here, giving it the, and then I see the light bulbs, and I see his eyes. He starts freaking out. He's waving his hands all over the place, running around the truck, I got a kick out of it. It's spicy. No harm, no foul. It's just spicy prank. But he's flipping out outside the truck. My buddy, who's the driver of the truck, he's salty, He's still pissed off. Hey, you gotta give him one of our bottles of water, right? Yeah, it's no big deal. We got plenty. So I grab a cold bottle of water out of the cooler and I pass it to the kid. And yeah, he drinks it and he's fine. Harmless prank, spicy, he's fine. So he's drinking his water, still hanging out in the truck. A few minutes goes by. And this made me love this kid even more than I already did. A few minutes goes by. He reappears with one of his buddies. And he's got his arm around his shoulders. And he's got this shit-eating grin on his face. And he's looking at me. And he's pointing to the concoction. And he's pointing to his buddy. And I'm like, oh, all right. He wants to get his buddy now. Awesome. Grab a spoonful. His buddy opens his mouth. Bam, I dump a spoonful of that Tabasco and Cayenne mix in his mouth. About the same reaction. A few seconds go by, and then you see the eyeballs get big. And he's freaking out, running around. His buddy's sharing the water with him. They're fine. He's getting the kick out of it. I got a kick out of it. And they got a bottle of water, and they washed it all down, and they were okay. So we're sitting there now, still kicking some time back. And I guess something had clicked in our driver's brain, because now he's hollering at me from the front of the truck, hey, you got any more of those cayenne pepper packets? Yeah, I got quite a few. Give them to me. All right. So I grabbed the cayenne pepper packets that I had. He takes them. He gets out of the truck, walks around the front, goes over to the commander's side of the truck, the TC side, on the passenger side there. He takes the AC vent. And the little vent that you could open and close, you just pop it right out. It just popped right out. So he pops it out, sets it down, takes those cayenne pepper packets now, rips them open, puts them inside the AC vent of the Humvee. So he's dumping them all out there. I'm like, oh shit, I know where this is going. They're dumping them in there. Dumps them in, pops the AC vent back in, lines up how he wants it to, because you can angle the vents and all that. And he's angling it in the direction he wants it angled at. Closes the other AC vents now in the front of the Humvee. So he closes the other vents, leaves this one open that has all this cayenne pepper in it. We have 2 toggle switches in the front, right, on the dash of the Humvee. So one's an on-off switch, and one is a high-low switch for the AC. So he switches the on-off switch to off, and switches the high-low switch to high. So it's turned off, but in the high position. And so now we just sit and wait. Now it's a waiting game. So time goes by. We're out there sweating our balls off. Time goes on. Finally, commander comes out. Now we're waiting. We're like, all right. He comes out, gets in the truck, looks over the driver, says, all right, man, let's go. Fire the Humvee up. We start moving, and we get, a little bit of speed. And that's when the driver hit the switch for the AC. So I'm behind the driver. I can see diagonally to the commander, but we also have got the guy that's, on the gun out the turret. His legs are in front of me. Didn't know this at the time, but he was recording, had his camera down here recording what was going on with the AC vent, and the commander didn't find this out till later, and when I saw the video. But that cayenne pepper, when the AC vent went from off to on, had blown. You just imagine, just powder right into his face. And so it takes him a couple seconds, and you see, I knew it had went off good when I saw him put his hand up over the vent. put his hand up over the vent to try to block whatever it was that was coming out of the vent. So he's got his hand over the vent. It's his hand over the vent. A couple seconds later, he starts hacking, starts coughing, right? And he's hacking harder. About that time, we just couldn't hold it anymore. Couldn't hold it anymore. We're laughing our ass off. I mean, we just bust out laughing, everybody in the truck. And he just turns and shoots the driver this look like, oh, you sons of bitches. Has the driver stop the truck, man. Hey, stop the truck, stop the truck. Pops his door open. Now he's hanging out the door, you know, of the Humvee. And he's hacking and his nose is running and over here doing his thing. And one of the best parts of it was my buddy, the guy that I trusted, and the kid who knew me, and I knew him, and that I pranked first. He pops his little ass inside the TC part of the Humvee and just straight up asks for a soccer ball. I mean, just pops up in there. Football? The commander's hacking and he looks at him and says, "Nah, man, I ain't got no footballs, dude. I ain't got no footballs." And so he, you know, gets it out of his system and closes the Humvee door. We're driving again. And when we just, you know, tell him about what we had done that day while he was inside. And he had a good laugh and we have a good laugh. And I still have a good laugh about it to this day. It was, to me, it was funny as shit. So that's one of the stories that I wanted to share. And that's something that I'd like to get from other veterans on this channel, is to come in and share something like that. You know, it doesn't have to be a prank, just be something funny, something that occurred or whatever during their time in the service. But that's where I'm going with this channel. So if you like the story and you'd like to hear more stories like that, I would appreciate it if you'd give this video a like, share it with your friends and family, and subscribe to the channel so you can see more content like this. So I appreciate your time, guys, and hope to see you again.